I think this is an interesting question because of your initial response to it. So the question being, do you have any regrets?
I don't feel that I have any regrets at all. I feel like I lived every day to bring honor and glory to the Lord. I probably have made some mistakes, but I don't even think about those. That isn't where my life is.
So you don't feel like you don't have any regrets because you lived each day trying to honor God.
Yeah, I made mistakes, but I choose not to dwell on the negative. I'm a very positive person, and I can't think of anything where I really, I don't remember. I know I've made mistakes, but I just sort of put them out of my mind and maybe learn from them and move forward.
I think that's great. That's a great perspective. Here we go. Okay, so what are you most grateful for?
I guess the health that I've enjoyed, the privilege to be able to be around, to see my kids grow up, grandkids, great-grandkids, and now great-great-grandkids. It's probably one of my biggest joys. I guess one of my sorrows is that my wife didn't make it. She couldn't enjoy this, but the Lord has certainly blessed me to see how God has not only given me children, but to see my testimony reflected in their lives and that they're all following the Lord. That's probably the biggest heritage I have. And then I guess also probably to see some of the results of the ministry. I mean, I think of Ecuador, watching the service this morning on FaceTime. What a blessing to see that church. That church is multiplied now, where there are over 100 churches. And this happens in my lifetime. At the village where I live, when I came, it was a blank slate. It was actually not blank, it was tumbleweeds and sagebrush with one building. I was able to build 5 buildings. We had 3 people. When I left, there were 80. Now there are close to 400. Covers 27 acres. And I've had the privilege of living there as a resident now for 31 years. So it's amazing how your life goes around and then you start reaping all the blessings. So that brings me to another point, and it is something that I would like to stress. One of the things that is distinctive about the village where I live is the landscaping. As I say, when I arrived there, it was a blank slate covered with tumbleweeds and sagebrush. And one of my first concerns was to get this place landscaped. And so we did. We got a landscape architect. He contoured the land. We started planting trees. The first trees that I planted were probably 8-10 feet tall. Now they're like 80-90 feet. And The whole place has been covered with landscaping. It's beautiful. It's an oasis. And people come there from all over to enjoy the rest of their lives in this beautiful place. I've often told people, if you want to make a difference in life, plant something. Whether it's a church, whether it's a family, or if it's just a tree. Go out and plant something. Somebody has said, anybody can count the seeds in an apple, but nobody can count the apples in one seed. So if you plant something and leave it up to the Lord, He'll bring the increase. I've seen it in my family. I've seen it in my ministry in Ecuador. That first seed that we planted now is probably multiplied, I don't know how many thousand times. But what a blessing. And now the Lord has given me this very special blessing of living long enough to see the results of those seeds that were planted. So if I have any advice to old people or young people, go plant something. It might just be a tree, but maybe it's planting the love of God in the life of one person and letting God multiply that seed.
Perfect. That's beautiful.
So go plant something.
Go plant something.
Yeah, it's interesting to be at this point in life. I've outlived, my dad died at 45, my mother died at 80. I had a couple of grandparents that lived into their 90s, but here I am, 101, still enjoying relatively good health, at least outwardly, and certainly able to enjoy life. But let's face it, you know that you're living on the edge, and any day can be the last day. So it gives you sort of a sharpening, but also I think it's more of a gratification that you can still see the fruits of your labor. I've often quoted what Jim Elliot said, one of the 5 martyrs in Ecuador. Happened while we were down there. We knew them well. Anyway, he said, when the time comes to die, be sure you don't have to do anything but die. And I've tried to live my life, my entire life. But now as I come to the end, it gets into a sharper focus. And you want to be sure the way you live your life is a life that you don't have to have any regrets about, and a life that brings honor and glory to God. And anything you can do is that can further that is, I think, what you should be doing. One of my greatest joys is serving others. Somebody has said that the greatest purpose in life is to be needed by one person. In other words, if there's somebody that you can help, somebody that you can guide, somebody that you can advise or counsel, that's the biggest blessing of all. And I just enjoy doing things for others. It brings so much joy into my life. And I'm anticipating being able to do that until the last moment.
I'm gonna pause.
Yeah, I think that's probably been characteristic. It's my desire. And I can't do much anymore, but I can do some. And I know Mary Carolyn says, if you want to get something done, ask Marlon. But I think one of the biggest, you're not recording this.
I am.
Oh, you.
Marlon Uncensored.
Well, I'm enjoying my relationship with Mary Carolyn at this point in life, and I find it so gratifying to be there for her. I'm 15 years older. Right now I'm helping her learn how to use her new iPhone. I helped her with her computer. But it's just that, the joy that it gives me of being to help somebody else, to serve someone else.